Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 16 knee-jerk stream. Game Week 15 not quite over yet. We've got one more game tomorrow, which is West Ham and Wolves. I don't have anybody in that game, so I'm hoping for a 1-all draw from players that absolutely nobody owns. But I'm pretty sure that Fekonja, Strandlass, and Aitner in particular will do probably quite well. So will Jared Bowen. So it's going to be a bit of a dent in my score tomorrow, but I'm not particularly worried about it because I got 94 points this week, which is absolutely insane. Yes, it's quite lucky for everyone points it out. But do you know what? With the season I've had so far, I will absolutely take that luck. I've gone from about 860k to somewhere around 200k. That will drop tomorrow. I might even be back down to 400k tomorrow. But I suspect whatever happens, I've probably at least halved my rank this week. So that's quite nice. Pretty much everything came in for me. Yeah, good week. Hopefully next week exactly the same. What happened to the deadline stream? Yeah, apologies for that. It's not very often that I miss any videos or any streams. Even when I'm away or even when I'm getting married, I've done deadline streams. But I had to miss this one. I won't lie to you. I went to a wedding on Friday and I didn't drink all that responsibly, as you should. And I woke up on Saturday morning. I couldn't do it. I was in the hotel room. The internet was good enough because I checked the speed the day before when we got there. I had all my laptop stuff, all the stuff I needed to stream. And I woke up at 9:30. I couldn't do it. At one point, I thought I'll just go down to the car and I'll just stream on my phone. But I just couldn't. I couldn't go down to the car. I didn't leave the hotel room till like 1 p.m. That's the first time I got out of bed and out of the room. So, yeah. Can I remember the last time I missed a deadline stream? I honestly can't. I almost never miss them. So, yeah, apologies for that. It is really annoying as well because it would have been a great stream because just before it started, we had the Liverpool-Everton news called off. I got my score this week. I have to dedicate it to Storm Dara. Hopefully everyone's okay with the Storm, by the way. Not too much damage and stuff. Because without that, I would have captained Salah, not Palmer, and obviously Palmer got 18 points into 36. I mean, Salah might have done really well too, but the hangover, the dedication to Guinness in particular, that's probably what got me to not make any transfers on Saturday. Honestly, I was looking at moves. my head was just not there to think about FPL, and I was considering doing Lewis and Raul Jimenez to Isak and Hoyson, or Howson, I think it is, from Bournemouth. And I wouldn't have lost any points really from doing that, but I wouldn't have gained anything. I would have used 2 free transfers. So in the end, I just couldn't be bothered to think of any moves, and I just got very lucky. So next week I've now got 3 free transfers, and if I want to get Saka, I can do it. It's just whether or not. Basically, it's the same conversation as the last couple of weeks. Do I take out Saliba? Do I get Trent, or do I just get Van Dijk? Do I get Saka? It's the same decision for me every single week. Last week, it was a bit easier not to get Saka. So when I say last week, I mean Game Week 15 was probably a little bit easier not to get Saka because Fernandes and Mbeumo both had nice home fixtures. But obviously, Game Week 16, they've both got tough away games. So it's going to be a little bit less... I'm a little bit less sure about keeping them this week. Did locking yourself out of Saka guarantee the big Palmer captain haul? I would have captained Palmer anyway, I think, over Saka. I mean, I've been saying this for weeks now. And this is not me saying Saka's a bad pick because obviously he's a great pick and I want him myself, but I'm just not going to captain him anytime soon. I've said that for weeks now, and most other people are not going to captain him either unless he has a great game week, and then they'll captain him the week afterwards and they'll probably miss the big haul. So for me, the Palmer-Salah rotation is just great. Palmer's a ridiculous FPL asset. I saw someone the other day say that, you know, how quickly Palmer's risen to being such a, you know, ridiculous FPL pick. He's basically the new Salah. Like, even today, right, if that was, well, maybe not, right, but possibly, if that was Arsenal, Saka might have given away one of the penalties. Palmer ain't given away nothing. He's taken every single one. If Palmer is on 4 goals and they get a penalty, he's taking one for the 5th goal. He's just insane. Obviously, there's luck there, by the way. If you didn't captain Palmer, you can consider yourself a little bit unlucky that you got 2 penalties in the same game. Similar to how Saka's haul against West Ham was a little bit lucky. There was 2 penalties involved, right? I know he gave one away, but he won the penalty. So how can you do content and justify that Palmer assist? All in caps lock. Do you know what? How can I do content and justify that assist? Just go and read the FPL rules. Honestly, I would say 90% of the time people are moaning about FPL assists. It's because they don't know the rules, basically. What was I talking about before that stupid comment? Palmer, yeah, very lucky. 2 penalties in one game. So yeah, Solanke goal. Could have had another goal, by the way. Raul Jimenez goal. I'm convinced it was a shot. Yeah, I mean, as soon as that happened, I knew it was an assist. Like the run he was doing, like who would he have been crossing to or passing to? So the Basuma got the Basuma foul for the penalty. Absolute stone wall. But just before that, he gave the ball away on the left. He should have just made a pass, and Chelsea won the ball back, and that's how they were up the pitch, basically. Very lucky game week. Yeah, but you always need a bit of luck to get a game week like this, right? And here's the thing I always say. I will accept that this is very lucky, but no one ever turns around and says, you know what, that week, those 2 weeks you didn't own Saka for 31 points, that was a bit unlucky. No one ever says that. So I'm taking the luck, and I'm going to enjoy it. If Gabriel is not in the Champions League squad, will you consider transferring him out? So this is the problem I'm in right now. If I want to get Saka, I've got to sell Saliba, Rayo, or Gabriel. I want to sell Saliba before Gabriel, but I can't do that while Gabriel is flagged. So it's a really annoying position to be in, because I don't want to sell Saliba and then Gabriel doesn't play, because then I'm limiting myself to just one Arsenal defender, and I want at least 2. So if Gabriel misses the Champions League squad, I might sell him, but I just know as soon as he's back, I'd rather have him than Saliba. I know Saliba scored 2 goals in a row, but we all know that Gabriel is the one with the higher threat, and the price is quite similar. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. It'd be really nice to see him in the squad, or to get news that he's out for like a couple of weeks, and then I would probably sell him. Yeah. See, if Gabriel's out, Saka's going to rise in price soon, which is really annoying. But if Gabriel's out, I can do him to, I think it's Dunk or Lewis Hall, and then Fernandes to Saka, and Lewis to and then Lewis to Trent, basically. I have no Arsenal players. I still have Hahn, and I can only afford Dallo to Timber. Shall I move? Timber's a really good option. Yeah, I mean, if I was to go back in time, I'd probably pick Saliba over. I'd probably pick Timber over Saliba. So, again, just got very lucky there. Not that I'm complaining, but Palmer's assist was identical to the one not awarding to Burma. It's not the same. This is what I mean. People don't know the rules. In Burmo, it was a pass, so intended destination plays a part. The intended destination was not... Whoever scored, it wasn't... I think Visser was the intended destination, and Sharda scored, I believe so. With Palmer, it was a shot. There's nothing to do with intended destination. It's a blocked shot, and so therefore it's an FPL assist. As always, you cannot like the FPL rules, but they are the rules going into the season, and therefore it is an assist. If you believe that was a shot from Palmer... And I don't really think there's too much debate about that, personally. Do I think the Lewis red card will be overturned? Well, it was a second yellow. Can they overturn? Oh, yeah. Was Fernandes a second yellow? Can't remember now. The Fernandes one against Spurs. Because Lewis shouldn't have been sent off. I watched the highlights before I started streaming. That's the second red card I've had now that shouldn't have been given. If you're explaining the rules, how can they call you lucky? Yeah, they can't. That's annoying. Saliba's 2 goals have been from second balls from set pieces. One hit his bum, other one in. Again, I'm not saying that Saliba is now this massive goal threat. I mean, I think it's fair that Saliba scored a goal this year. Like, he has scored goals in the past. It's not like he's got 0 goal threat. But, yes, Gabriel is better. And I also like Timber just for the money set. If Timber... I think Timber's still 5.6, right? So I quite like that. Okay, Fernandes was a direct red. Fair enough. Do you think this is the week we should look to move on Bruno? Yes, possibly. If you're going to sell him, this seems like a pretty good week to do it. The thing is, the fixtures afterwards are still quite good. Like Bournemouth at home, Wolves away, Newcastle at home. They're decent fixtures. Honestly, if Gabriel's fit, I am very tempted to do Lewis to Trent and not get Saka. And just stick with Fernandes and Mbeumo for a bit longer. And I've said it the whole way. I don't mind Mbeumo's fixtures as much as everyone else. I think 19 to 22 with Arsenal, City and Liverpool, not great. But Chelsea away, Forest at home, Brighton away for a nailed-on penalty taker. I just don't mind them. I also like Bruno's fixtures after City. But it depends how you frame it, right? I mean, Fernandes has got Liverpool away and City away in the next 5. They just bookend the next 5 game weeks. But like, I'd much rather have Saka for the next 3 weeks, right? So that's the problem. It's not that I think Fernandes is bad. I just prefer to have Saka. I don't want to like bore you with my Arsenal conundrum every single week, but because I've put myself in the position where I've got the 3 defenders, to get Saka, it's always one more. It's always one extra transfer, right? I've got to sell one of my Arsenal players that also has a great fixture. So I don't know what to do. I mean, I've got the money in the bank to get Saka, right? And I can get the Liverpool defender as well. And I've got 3 free transfers. So I could just do it. Fernandes isn't a 90-minute player anymore. Potentially, I don't think we should react too much to that sub against Forest because it was after a midweek game where he played 90 against Arsenal. But I think it is slightly worrying that he's played 65 and 75 in the last 2 home games. And against Forest, obviously, United were losing. And they brought him off. So I wouldn't be buying any Man United players. That's for sure. Amarim's just messing around. Or what? No, what do people say I should say? He's... I keep saying messing around. There's a better word for it, right? He's trying different things out. Yeah, Amarim said that he subbed off Fernandes because he was tired. The thing is, like, Ten Hag would never have subbed him off in that situation. I mean, I guess he did sub him off against Brighton earlier this season. I might just sell Fernandes and be done with it. I just think I can get Saka, I can get a Liverpool defender, I can do it in one move. I might have to get... The only thing with getting Saka is I probably have to get Van Dijk now over Trent because of the price rises. Like, Trent went up before the storm. Saka's probably going to go up again. You don't need Saka. I would spend the money getting Isak and Trent in your position. It's a good differential to go against Saka. Yeah, maybe. The thing is, it's either Trent or it's Isak. I can't get both. Even if I sell Solanke, I can't get Isak. And I'm not selling Solanke. He's got Southampton away. And actually, I quite like Solanke still, to be honest. When it comes to Man United players, would you say that Ahmad is to be avoided? I mean, even he could get benched, right? Like, he's cheap, I get that, but I'd rather just go and get someone like Rodgers. Although I think Rodgers went up in price. He's a bit more expensive. Let me get through some of these super chats. Apologies. Would you roll this 11? Verbruggen, Timber, Gabriel, Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall's great this week. Salah, Palmer, Rodgers, Semenyo, Havertz, Haaland, João Pedro. I mean, yes, probably. Without giving it... Like, obviously, I can only give it like a few seconds thought. I'm not strategizing your whole team, but it looks pretty good. Like, Semenyo's decent this week. Havertz is good too. You've got no Saka, but you've got Triple R, so it's probably not worth selling any of them. Just wait for more Gabriel news. They got Champions League this week, so we'll see if he's in the squad. As a general rule, how many points should you expect to gain from a transfer for you to consider making it? I thought about 1 to 2 points, but not sure. I've never really thought about that. I guess like this is probably a bit of a simple answer, but like if you think you're gonna gain points that week and then in future weeks, then it's probably worth making, right? If you're like, I think like in the case of Mbeumo this week. And again, obviously a bit of hindsight because he did really well. Like, I thought that maybe like Matoma, Gordon, Bowen long term might be better. But I thought for a 1 game week only, Mbeumo could do just as well. So there was no point in making the transfer. And so the points gain this week would be pretty minimal. So I'd rather just roll. But yeah, I've never really thought about putting a number on it. Captaincy this week is going to cost chaos. I'm probably going to go for Palmer captain, I think. And I tweeted that before today's game, by the way. Haaland, Rodgers, Lewis to Isak, Saka, Trent. That sounds great to me. Part of me thinks I'm selling Haaland before he starts scoring, but don't think it will captain anytime soon. It's getting tougher to sell Haaland because the fixtures between like 18 and 22 are pretty good. But like Isak, Saka, Trent is so much better than Haaland, Rodgers, Lewis. I don't think it's even close. And there's other players you can captain. One tied sleeper last midweek, draw today. No, I'll do the sleeper draw on the next deadline stream. I know I said I was going to do it on the next deadline stream, but it'll have to be on... Well, to be fair, I am doing it on the next deadline stream. It just happens to be that there wasn't one for Game Week 15. So yeah, I'll do 2 draws on the next deadline stream for Game Weeks 14 and 15. I promise. I promise. Just think that Enzo is far better than Rodgers. Yeah, you could be right. I'm a little bit worried about blocking 3 Chelsea, but it would be Palmer, Jackson and Colwill, I guess. Is it that much of a worry? Probably not. And if Enzo is going to keep starting, he's probably a good pick. Who would you replace in Burmo for? Well, that's where I'm getting pretty stuck. Maybe Matoma. Honestly, I'm just happy to hold in Burmo for now. What's the reasoning behind Trent? Liverpool, top 2 defence in the league. Trent very attacking. Massive differential. Good fixtures coming up. Great fixtures long term. It's maybe not the... Like, I don't think Trent's essential this week. Fulham at home is going to be easy. Fulham at home is going to be tough. I would not be surprised if Fulham score. Although if I buy him, I'd be hoping they don't. And then it's Spurs away. But after that, the fixtures are really good. I think by game week 18, I'd want to have a Liverpool defender in. And also, by the way, this is my team for next week. So I've got Raya, Gabriel, Saliba, which is absolutely fine as long as Gabriel's fit. My other defenders, and I've got to play one of them, are Pinnock versus Chelsea away, Greaves versus Wolves away, and Lewis versus Man United at home, and he's suspended. And Greaves wasn't even in the squad today. So I don't really want to play Pinnock against Chelsea away. That's like a guaranteed 2-3 goals, probably. So I want to get a Liverpool defender in. I've said this so many times, I don't want to have to keep messing around with cheap defenders. I just want to get in Arsenal and Liverpool ones. And part of the selling Haaland was to have money to do this stuff. You know? Haaland brace is so needed this coming game week. Deciding who to sacrifice to get him will help shake up the game. Now, I'm probably just not going to get him. So I'm probably just going to captain other players instead. Even if Haaland scores a hat-trick, right? We know he's capable of that. We don't need... I don't feel like I need to see him score a hat-trick to know he's capable of it. I know, but I will also acknowledge it's much easier to say that when he's not scoring loads of goals every week. You know, it's always going to be the case. Yes, so the Liverpool-Everton game will be a double game week. I think Ben Krellin was saying that game week 25 is one of the more likely game weeks, but I don't know that for sure. That's also another nice thing about just getting in a Liverpool defender now. I know it's a long way away, but you can just hold them. It's also part of the reason I kind of want to get Van Dijk. Because I could always sell an Arsenal defender for another Liverpool one later on. Like double Liverpool defence from about game week 18, 19 onwards might even look better than double Arsenal defence. Or I could have double Arsenal, double Liverpool. So Raya, Gabriel, Trent, Van Dijk. If I could make that work with the funds, that could be quite nice. Thoughts on Son tonight? Would you transfer him out for Saka if you had the exact money before getting priced out? Yeah, I'd rather have Saka than Son for the next few weeks for sure. Should I sell Palmer to get Salah? Probably not. I don't think. If you already have the midfield threemium, who would you move Bruno to? I just wouldn't move him. If you've got the midfield of Fernandes, Palmer, Salah, Saka, I would just keep Fernandes. I don't think there's that many midfielders that are better than him, unless you really need the money. Pinnock's been an awful buy. Not really. Got me a clean sheet the other day. 2 goals on my bench. If I'd played in those weeks, he would have been a bit better. Lewis was on 9 points before the red card. It was never a red card either. But by the way, how good was the finish for the goal for Rico Lewis? Really nice. I thought he was going to go the other side. Gabriel to Timber or Lewis Hall to Timber. Not confident on Gabriel starting. It's hard to say right now. I think we need that Champions League game and hopefully some kind of update from Arteta. Ideally, you want to keep Gabriel, right? Collins was the better pick. Yeah, nice finish from him. The Saka goal should have stood. Well, Martinelli was offside, right? So it's offside. It's offside. When I first saw, so obviously the Saliba and Saka goals were both VAR'd. When I saw Saliba, I thought he was offside, and when I saw Martinelli, I thought he was onside. So I was wrong for both of them. Why wasn't it a red card? The second foul, he didn't foul him though. The other player stood on his foot. No. Paul Merson said it was criminal that Martinelli was offside in that position. Chris Wood keeps returning, hard to sell. Well, at this point, you've kind of got rid of the toughest fixtures for Chris Wood. So if you want to keep him, you absolutely should. Like, he'll probably continue to do better than the likes of João Pedro, Raul Jimenez, Strand Larsen. Does it not bother you that Chelsea have their longest away trip in the week? Not really. It's European game, right? So almost all their 11 will get rotated. So I think Caicedo should have been sent off. When I first saw the Caicedo challenge, I thought he was quite lucky. And I think if he'd been sent off, there maybe wouldn't have been too many arguments. But having seen it back, I don't think... The only way I can explain it is Caicedo didn't go through him. He didn't go through the leg. He kind of... It's almost like he stopped like before any real damage would have been done. Like the foot came down rather than went through. So I think the Caicedo non-red was fine. I can't believe he didn't get a yellow, though. He got nothing for that, as far as I know. What was the other one? Kulusevski. I would have to see the Kulusevski one back. I saw it kind of briefly. I didn't think it was a red card, but I honestly would need to see it again. Mbeumo and Lewis to Semenyo and Trent this week. I quite like that, yeah. I think if you're going to sell Mbeumo and you want to free up money, Semenyo probably is the one. Fernandes isn't reliable. You mean the guy with 49 points in 6 game weeks? He's not reliable. Carragher was being dramatic on comms. He was a bit, yeah. I also thought he was a bit harsh on the stewards for not... I know like it's annoying that the crowd were throwing stuff on, but there's only so many stewards, right? There's a lot of people throwing stuff. It wasn't a straight leg or stamp on the shin. He kicked upwards and caught him. Yeah, I don't think it was a red. I get it. It should have been yellow. You could maybe say it was like an orange challenge. Semenyo has been playing so deep, but that sounds like Mbeumo's playing so wide, you know? If you had a clean sheet, which 3 strikers would you have? Well, a couple of weeks ago I said I would definitely have João Pedro, Isak and Cunha, and then straight away I think they all blanked. And everyone sold Isak, and now he looks good again. I think Isak's brilliant in the next 2 weeks. I would probably still have João Pedro. I don't think I'm massively concerned about the early sub today. Like 70 minutes is still not that bad. Would have been nice if he'd actually done something though, because it is 2 games in quick succession. So I think that's positive for his minutes going forward. So value wise, 5.9 million. I feel like João Pedro is still up there. So I would have him. I'd probably have Isak right now because you've got such good fixtures in front of you and you can always move to like Solanke or something later. The third forward's difficult. Like I'm happy enough with Raul Jimenez, not just because he scored today, but also because he started. So the idea that Muniz is now first choice, I don't think that's going to be true at all. And I'm hoping that he'll start that Southampton game in 17, Raul Jimenez. But I wouldn't put him in on a wild card. João Pedro, Isak, and then one more. I'm not sure who the last one would be. Like, short term, obviously, you could just go for Cunha because he's got good fixtures in the next couple. But long term, I'm not so sure about him for that money. I still like Solanke. I think Solanke's a little bit underrated as an option. I know when he scores, he doesn't usually get, like, big hauls. But he's still got 8 returns in 12 starts. Southampton away right in front of him. Often plays 90. I don't hate it, but I get why no one else would want to buy him. I think that third forward's a bit tricky now. How was the wedding you went to? It was great. Someone asked the groom how they knew me, and then she said, "I want to tell him that I've got more points than him." I wonder if she's still got more points than me now. Now that I've got 94, maybe. I don't know if I would wildcard into Raul Jimenez, João Pedro, and Isak. Yeah, Evan Nielsen, that's a good shout. Probably, it's probably a good shout. If Raul Jimenez gets the majority of games over Christmas, though, they've got some good fixtures. Yeah, Nicholas Jackson possibly, but he's 1 yellow away from a suspension still, right? He's not going to get it, is he? He's not going to get that yellow card. Doesn't matter how many times I keep mentioning it, he's not going to get it. Own Salah, Saka, Palmer, Jackson. Move Bruno and Delap to Isak, Semenyo, bench in Burmo. Oh, bench in Burmo. Or move in Burmo, Delap to Isak and Enzo and keep Bruno. So basically, it's Isak, Semenyo and Imbermo, or Isak, Enzo and Bruno. I think I prefer the Isak, Semenyo and Imbermo, I think. Haaland's just lost a bonus point out of nowhere. Oh, God. I honestly, it's at the point where I just feel for Haaland owners. Like, you can I've said this before, you can think that it was a good choice to sell Haaland, but it's also been so lucky. So he's down to 7 points. So Raul Jimenez has outscored him. Nice. Yeah, Havertz. So I've got no interest in Havertz because I just think triple defense or double defense and Saka is better than having Havertz. There's just too. Well, I say there's too many other good forwards. I've just struggled to name 3. But I'd rather have Solanke or Isak than Havertz, and then have triple defense or double defense and Saka. Yeah, Chris Wood. It probably is. It's probably always been and always will be Chris Wood. Maybe I should stop forgetting about him. Jamie Vardy as well. By the way, I love that second goal for Leicester against Brighton. Because Jamie Vardy, I think most forwards would have shot. And he played such a nice pass. I know it was like relatively easy, but still. Who was the other Arsenal player? Oh yeah, Watkins. Watkins at 9 million. Benched against Southampton. Like he could get benched again over Christmas, but I guess most players could get benched. So maybe that's not fair. But you've missed the plum fixture now, right? So you got Forest away, City at home, Newcastle away. They got a nice little run, 19 to 21. And then after Arsenal, the run's pretty good as well. I don't mind Watkins, but I don't see me paying 9 million for him. With Champions League this week and having played yesterday, do you think Rodgers is due a bench? At the end of the day, I think at some point you have to stop worrying about it. Like Rodgers has started every game in the league. So could he get benched? Sure. But I don't think it's that likely. I think the fact that, Watkins was benched and Rodgers played again, I think that's a positive. Watkins had 0.85 XG in 32 minutes. Yeah, he should have got more returns. But still, it's not that Watkins is bad. I just think with the midfielders and defenders I'd be trying to fit in, I just don't think I'd have 9 million to spend. Will Palmer as vice-captain change to captain because I captained Salah? Yes. Yeah, I suspect that most Salah captainers have probably got Palmer or Saka as their vice. I think Duran's minutes will go up. Not enough where you should consider him, really. Yes, I did see that Isak chance when he went around the keeper. I feel like he's done that before. I might be wrong. Should have scored. Should have had 2 goals. In Burmo, Brennan, Vardy to Saka, Enzo, Timber -4. I mean, Brennan might be injured. I think that has to go down as I don't hate it, but probably don't love it either. Just taking Burmo out for a hit doesn't sound great, but you're getting Saka, so I guess it's kind of nice. Yeah, I do remember Isak doing that before. I just can't remember which game it was in. Would I sell Bruno this week to fund Trent? Possibly, depending on what the other move is. Rodgers is he on 4 yellow card? I didn't even realise that. I lose track with the yellow card. I think Sanchez is also on 4 yellow cards, the Chelsea goalkeeper. Also, Sanchez really isn't very good, especially with his feet. Yellow. Where is the yellow cards here? He is on 4 yellow cards. You're correct. How are you planning to get Trent and Saka in? I don't see where the funds come from for my own team. So for me, by the way, I am struggling to get both now because their prices have gone up. So I might have to go for Van Dijk instead. Like I think Saka might go up over tonight or tomorrow. It's getting close. So Fernandes for Saka. I've stopped worrying about trying to do Mbeumo to Saka. The money just doesn't work. I'd have to get rid of Saliba, and I need to make another defender transfer. So Lewis would have to go. I've got 11.2 million to spend. So I can't really go for Trent and Saka now. I'd only have 4.2 million for the replacement. But the problem is, whoever I replace Lewis with to fund the Trent and Saka moves, they have to play this week, really. Otherwise, I've got to play Pinnacle Greaves. If Anderson was fit, he'd be all right, but then he's got Liverpool away this week. So I think if I decide to get Saka, I might just go for Van Dijk instead. And then I've got 4.8 million to spend. And then I can go for whoever I want. I mean, if Palace had better fixtures now, I would definitely consider... Hang on a sec. I would definitely consider Munoz. 4.7 million, quite attacking. Good fixtures coming up like 18, 19 onwards. I don't know. I'm not completely against just buying him now. But the next two fixtures just do not screen clean sheets. But I think in game week... Hang on, let me just put Munoz in there a sec. I think in game week 17, Pinnock has Forest at home. Yeah, so I could play Pinnock in 17 and bench Munoz. Maybe. Is Munoz on 4 yellows as well? Oh, Christ's sake. Let me have a look. I really need to check the suspensions. He's on 4 yellows. He hasn't had one for a while, though, but yeah, that's going to put me off, I think. You say that about Munoz, are we in game week 1? But like his attacking numbers are real good. Like 0.18 expected goals per 90 is decent. And they got good fixtures coming up. But yeah, I probably won't go for him then. I'll probably go for... Honestly, I'm going to go boring. It's probably going to be Dunk or Colwill because they're absolutely nailed on. I know Colwill got benched for a midweek game. It could happen again. But I think outside of that, he's basically nailed. Yeah. Just because, again, I don't want to have to keep messing with this spot. I really like the idea of going for Lewis Hall. But I just worry a little bit that the fixtures... So Leicester at home, Ipswich away are okay. Villa at home is okay. United away, Spurs away, not great. But then the fixtures are actually all right again. I can maybe talk myself into Lewis Hall. Maybe. Robinson, it's not going to happen. He's 4.7. Liverpool away. I mean, the fixtures afterwards are quite good. The problem is you've got Anderson there. Kirke's not a bad shout. We're just going to go through every single defender at this point, aren't we? Yeah, Kirkes is okay. But again, it's Man United away in 17, but I could play Pinnock for 1 week. Yeah. Yeah, Kirkes maybe. What's his numbers looking like? They're okay. They're okay. Anyway, that's basically how I get Trent and Saka. Well, I probably don't get Trent and Saka. I have to get Van Dijk and Saka instead. I quite like that, though. I do quite like that. Just get Colwill in. Colwill's got Brentford at home, Everton away, Fulham at home, Ipswich away, Palace away, Bournemouth at home, Wolves away. I'd probably just play Colwill like pretty much every single week. Should be done. He's on... Is he on 4 yellow cards as well? No, he's on 3, I think. I don't think he got one today. Why can't I see the yellow cards? It's really annoying. Oh, I can't get it. There we go. Oh, he's on 3 still. He's on 3. I'm not buying 8 Nori. He's still 1 yellow card away from suspension. The good games are going to run out soon. Wolves are a terrible defence. Colwill won't give points. He probably will. Chelsea defence is pretty good. Also, he's 4.5 million, right? I'm not expecting a huge... Which 4.5 million defenders are guaranteed points? I'd rather just get one with good fixtures that I can just play every week. So that's my dilemma now. Do I get Van Dijk to get Saka, or do I just ignore Saka and get Trent? And also, I've got the Gabriel thing to worry about as well. If I was to sell Gabriel instead of Saliba, but in fact, hang on a second. Saliba must be close to going up in price. Ooh, he must. Is he close to going up in price? Because I got him at 6. He's gone up to 6.1. He scored twice in a row. People are going to be buying him, surely. Please be buying him. Yeah, he's had 82,000 transfers in the most. So if he goes up in price, I'll have another 0.1 to spend. And then I can get Howson from Bournemouth. So if I go for Howson, Saliba, if he goes up in price, then Then I can get Trent. And then I can do Fernandes to Saka to 10.4 million. But Saka's going to go up in price soon. I don't want to do any transfers before the Champions League games. So basically, it's Trent and no Saka, or it's Van Dijk and Saka. So there we go. Or the alternative is I don't get Saka and I just make 2 defender transfers to cover Gabriel. So I just do something like Lewis to Trent. In fact, this is an option, right? So Lewis to... Let me see if I was looking at moves earlier, but I might have forgotten what I was going to do. If I do Lewis to Trent and Pinnock to, let's just say Dunk, because he's 4.4. So I'd use 2 free transfers this week. If Gabriel doesn't play, then Dunk would come on for me. Yeah, if we're not sure about Gabriel, I'd probably just get Dunk. I've got 3 free transfers, so I'd still have 2 transfers in game week 17. And then Fernandes to... This is all off the top of my head now. Fernandes to Saka and Saliba out. I'd have 4.3 million. So then I could get Howson. But again, Saka's going to go up in price, isn't he? I don't know. I really want Trent. I quite like the idea of just doing that. Just making 2 defender transfers and rolling the last transfer into next week. It's so boring, I know, but Huijsen. I think it's more like Howson than Huijsen, to be honest. Euro 4.3. I ain't buying Man United defenders. Am I not concerned about how poor Brighton's defensive numbers have been? Yeah, I am, but I'm just looking for someone cheap, right? I'd probably get Lewis Hall over Dunk, in all honesty. In Burmo, I did that one, didn't I? Had my 40th this weekend. Happy birthday, by the way. 71 with 2 to play. Nice. Got 3 transfers heading into next weekend. Loving it this weekend. Also, how filthy was Palmer's second penalty? Ridiculous penalty, honestly. The guy has just got no fear. He's going to be he's already is a great player. He's just going to be great for years to come. Vandenberg to Joe Gomez. I don't mind Gomez. I think his minutes will be pretty good, but they're not a complete lock, I would say. 3 free transfers in Burmo, Mikalenko, and Greaves. This is already going to be good, I can tell. Enzo, yeah, okay, Trent and Gomez. I'd maybe go Enzo, Trent, and a different defender than Gomez, although I don't hate that. Don't hate it. Actually, can I afford that? Can I afford... If I go Trent for Lewis... Oh, I can afford Gomez. Oh, he's 4.9. No, I can't. Okay, that's probably for the best. Probably for the best that I can't afford Gomez because I don't want to take the risk. I don't think. I'm dropping Jackson. No longer the focal point. That's very knee jerk. A couple of game weeks ago, everyone was talking about Jackson though he was essential. Jackson is still a good option. It's Brentford at home. Brentford concede a lot of goals. Chelsea don't keep clean sheets, so why Cole? Again, please tell me, 4.5 million, which defenders are guaranteeing you clean sheets? Yeah, but Forest fixtures are rubbish. And let's be real, Milenkovic, like, I know he's just scored, but like the fixtures, I don't know. I'd rather go for someone with better fixtures, basically. So why not just go for Colwell, even though he's boring? Is Lewis Hall going to guarantee me more points? I don't think you can... I really don't think you can say that Dunk is better than Colwell. Why not Captain Salah? It's close between him and Palmer, I think. I thought Fulham were very good today. They are going to be missing Bassi, I think. And obviously it's an away game, whereas against Arsenal was at home. But I thought Fulham were good. They're very disciplined, very well organised, hard to break down. Like Arsenal didn't have a huge amount of open play chances today. And that Brentford defence, trust me, as a Pinnock owner, that Brentford defence is terrible. Like, Palmer can have a field day. I think it's very close between the two. I don't think there's a right or wrong on that. If you want to captain Salah, that's absolutely what you should do. If no cheap defender is keeping clean sheets, why not go for someone more attacking? But the thing is, when we say no one's keeping clean sheets, like I don't expect Chelsea to never keep clean sheets, and they've got the fixtures to potentially pick some up. Yeah, look, you're not gonna have me arguing that against Salah. If you want to captain Salah, that's exactly what you should do. I just go as attacking as possible with my cheap defenders, 8 Nuri, Kirke. Yeah, but look at 8 Nuri, right? Since everyone bought him in, he's not got any attacking returns. He probably will tomorrow now, I've said that. And because defensively they're an absolute shambles, you never get clean sheet points either, or very rarely. Like Kirkes, I don't mind. I think Bournemouth's defence okay as well, and they got some pretty good fixtures. I don't know. I'll give it some thought. I'm really not 100% sure, as you can tell, what I'm going to do. It all comes down to how much I want Saka, basically. And I feel like I kind of want him. One of the reasons is, I think after the next 3 fixtures, I'm less keen on being on triple defence. Like Everton at home, Palace away, Ipswich at home. I think those 3 fixtures are fine for playing all my defenders in. But after that, Brentford away, Brighton away, Spurs at home, Villa at home, not so good. Even like Wolves away, City at home, I'd be happy enough to play Saka in all these fixtures, but not necessarily my defence. So I'm thinking about. I kind of want Saka. I really want Trent as well. Is Matoma to Enzo a good? I can't see why you'd want to sell Matoma. Yeah, 8 Nori will be sold soon by people, absolutely. If you buy Koa, you'll have in Burma against him. Yeah, true, but he's a good long-term pick. I'd only go somewhere else if I thought there was someone just as good as him, really. Do I know Kevin Bridges? Not personally. What do I think about Kulusevski as a differential? Should I? If you've got Kulusevski, I wouldn't buy him, but if you've got him, you keep him for Southampton away, right? Yeah, I think like triple defense is not going to last forever, and I also appreciate I've been very lucky with it the last 4 weeks. I've had 9 returns from my 10 Arsenal defensive players in 4 weeks. It's not going to keep continuing, but I think they are pretty good for the next 3 weeks. I mean, Raya, I'm probably never going to be in the position where I've got a free transfer to move Raya on, so I don't mind keeping him, and I don't mind keeping one other defender like Gabriel because of the goal threat, but I want to move Sleeber on at some point. Thoughts on Bruno to Semenyo to fund Trent? That could be quite nice, yeah. Don't hate that. What do you think about Robertson with Simicast out? What is he? He's like 5.9, so he's 0.5 less than Van Dijk. The thing is, for me, right, bringing in a Liverpool defender is a very long-term move. I get it, right? Things can happen like injuries, suspensions, and, you know, all the plans go out of the window. But if your Liverpool defender stays fit, you're keeping them for ages. And also keep in mind now that Liverpool, and I know this is miles away, right? And this is where it gets a little bit, this is where we're probably a bit too obsessed as FPL managers. But then again, we are all, well, you're watching me stream, I'm streaming about FPL. We are obsessed, right? If Ben's right, which he often is, and Liverpool are going to potentially have a double game week around game week 25, if I bring in a Liverpool defender now, I'm keeping them all the way up until that double game week, right? Not just because of the double, but that's a small part of it. And also, they just got really good fixtures and they're a great defence. So with Robertson, he's fine with Simicast out, but as soon as Simicast is back, it doesn't look quite so good. And I don't really, like, you might get lucky and Robertson plays the whole way through, but it just seems unlikely. So I'd rather just go up to at least Van Dijk. There's still some risk with Trent, but actually now that he's had an enforced rest because of the game being called off, that's probably quite good for his hamstring, right? Bit more time for recovery. And I think Trent is clearly first choice for that right back spot. And it's not to say that Connor Bradley couldn't come in at some point, but he is absolutely first choice. I think with Robertson, when Simicast is fit, you have got concerns over whether he's going to start. So for me, a Liverpool defender is long term. It's why I don't necessarily want to mess around with Gomez too much. I wouldn't mind Gomez with another Liverpool defender, but I don't want him to be my main one. Lost some momentum, possibly. I don't know. I don't really see it like that. Oh yeah, when Konate's fit, he'll be straight back in based on everything we've seen, like for many weeks before the injury. Iwobi has been seriously under the radar. Yeah, that's a fair shout. And Fulham have got some good fixtures coming up. Trent might be a Madrid player by game week 25. Don't see it. Summer transfer, that one. You don't, obviously you don't have the inside details with this stuff, but I can't imagine Trent would want to leave Liverpool during the season. I just don't see it. Like, he's a Liverpool boy, isn't he? Would you rather Enzo or Semenyo? Semenyo by a mile, I think. Yeah, Alisson's definitely an option when he's back. Like, if in like 4 or 5 game weeks time, I've got a few transfers saved up and I'm not going to Haaland, like, because if I go to Haaland, I'm going to be spending 2, 3, 4 transfers all at once, right? Then I might have the move to go rare to Alisson, and I would definitely consider that. Yeah, that's exactly. It's not just about not wanting to leave mid-season. They might win the title this year. They got a really good chance. It's not. I just don't see it happening. The only reason he'd go in January is if Liverpool want to get a fee for him, right? But I think if you're Real Madrid, you just wait till the summer and get him for free. And also, Trent gets a massive payoff in that situation. The main thing about the Robertson rotation is about him not being up to full fitness after the summer. When he's back in top form, he'll play every single game again. I believe that when I see it. I still don't think for 0.5 million it's worth the risk. I'd rather just get Van Dijk. If you're really stuck and you can only afford Robertson, then maybe you go for it, but I don't see it. So I reckon Isak will transfer to Arsenal in January. I doubt it again. That would be mega money. To get Isak during the season when Callum Wilson can't stay fit. Like, they'd be down to no striker. Obviously, if they get big money, they could go and buy someone else. But it's not that easy making transfers in January generally. Just during the stream, how long is Gabriel out for? Honest answer is we don't know. We just don't have any info, which is part of the problem. If for long, Gabriel, Van Dijk to Trent, Timber -4. I wouldn't sell Van Dijk to Trent for -4. I would just do Gabriel to Timber. Who has a better fixture, Palmer or Salah? I think it's definitely Palmer, but it's not like there's a huge amount in it. Like, Fulham are good, but going away to Anfield is difficult. So I suspect that Fulham and Brentford will both be conceding, but if I had to put money on which one's going to concede the most, I'd probably put it on Brentford. But then Liverpool attack's probably a bit better than Chelsea, so... Oh, City would definitely have to pick players up in January if they can. Why sign Solanke on the cheaper side only to splash cash on Isak? They said Arsenal, not Spurs. FPL Challenge is fun this week. All players under 6 million scored double points. Worth a look for one-off fun week. I might have a look. And when I say might, I mean I'm definitely not. I'll forget about it after this stream. I'll forget about it in about 5 minutes. Is it time to sell Vardy? Man United at home, Villa away doesn't look good, but Liverpool have Fulham at home, Spurs away, with Vardy having some nice fixtures afterwards. I don't mind the Vardy hold, but I just don't see too many clean sheets for City right now. It's been like this for weeks. Like, City will go on a run soon where they win a bunch of games in a row because their attack is still really good, especially if De Bruyne can stay fit and get good minutes. But defensively, it's just not right. They keep getting injuries in defence. Kyle Walker just looks done. No Rodri, obviously, as we know. I'm not sure. But then Vardy can be so attacking. I don't think you need to rush Vardy to Liverpool necessarily in the next 2 game weeks. But I think long term, I'd rather have the Liverpool defender, I think. Unless we can see some improvements from City and he continues to be attacking. Jackson to Isak or Mbeumo to Gordon, just benched. So basically, Isak and Mbeumo or Jackson and Gordon. No, yeah. So Isak and Mbeumo or Jackson and Gordon. Much rather have Isak and Mbeumo, I think. How many FPL accounts do you actively manage? All of mine. Well, what do you mean by actively manage? I mean, I post videos on Instagram. I don't do a huge amount on stories and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I don't. Yeah, I post videos to TikTok and Instagram. I tweet I sometimes post on Blue Sky. That's about it. Did you see the Pep fan altercation that went viral? I did not know. Ruling City out completely is so premature. Nah, I think they're kind of done. You never know, I guess. If you mean, do I manage any FPL accounts that aren't Let's Talk FPL? 0. Oh, do I have more than one? Oh, do you mean FPL? Do you mean teams? Oh, one. Mine. Why would I bother managing more? Would you transfer out Haaland for Isak or roll? If you're then spreading the money around, I'd be tempted to do it. But I wouldn't just do Haaland to Isak, I don't think. Jeez, I wouldn't. I couldn't be bothered to manage more than one FPL team. It's bad enough managing this one. Big mistake game week. In Burmo, Vissa and Lewis -4. In Burmo, they all scored. Got Timber, Bowen, Isak, Palmer, Captain Save Me. Got Cunha 8-0. Oh, there you go. It sounds like you did pretty well, to be honest. Cunha, 8-0, Bowen are all good. Did he just out himself breaking the rules? Who, me? What, by saying that I manage my own social media accounts? It's funny when you get a question like that, how many FPL teams do you manage? Because you know it's 0, but then you're like oh God, are they trying to catch me out here? Do I actually have another team? Even though I obviously definitely don't. I recommend you watch the Pep video. Is it the one where he says about how many titles they've won or something? Manage an anti-FPL team. Honestly, I got no interest. Is top half gone for United? I don't think so. Oh, he charges at a fan. Okay, I might look it up after this. Smith Rowe's minutes have not been great, but there's been a lot of... He started the last 2, right? Let me just double check that. I'll have a look at it after this game. After this stream. Yeah, he started the last 2. Oh, it's an old video from after the cup final. Okay. And obviously, the games have been in quick succession, so I wouldn't necessarily worry about his minutes just yet. Maybe they have come down a bit. But the fixtures are very good from 17 onwards for Fulham, so I'd be tempted to keep Smith Rowe. If you've got luxury of using a transfer on him to Semenyo, you could do it, but I don't hate keeping Smith Rowe for now. Raya will only give... Raya can't really be sold to get Saka. It doesn't free up enough money. Because from Raya, I can only go down about $1 million. From Saliba, I can go 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. So it gives me the extra money to spend. Is Saka essential if you already have Palmer and Salah? I would say he's not essential, no. I would say he's very good, for sure. And if you can get to him easily, then I would. What's your FPL team name? I don't know, to be honest. Probably something rubbish. I probably haven't changed it. I think it's just Let's Talk FPL. Yeah, probably that. I was 250k last week, now 750k. Yeah, it shows how quickly it can change. That's why, like, as much as I've done well this week, like, I could easily be on red arrows soon. I think always try and or try and think about it this way. If you can drop that much in 1 week, you can also go up that much in 1 week as well. So you could just have a great week, right? I randomly have Yoru in my team, 5th defender, hold. Well, I guess so, right? If you're not playing them that much, no point spending transfers on them. I probably won't make moves until any of the until all the European games are done, yeah. I've got no interest in spending the transfer on Ray or anytime soon. Like I said, if I get to the really good fixture swing for Liverpool and Alisson's fit and I've got a spare transfer, I might do it. My rank's in and around 200k, but it'll change tomorrow. It's a really nice rise, though. I've gone from 2.9 million to about, let's say 300k after tomorrow's games, maybe 400k. Like 2.9 million to 300k in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. It'd be nice to get into the top 100k soon, but I feel like I'm getting greedy now. I'm due a red arrow. I've been getting too much luck recently. Will you sell in Burma to get a 5 million or less midfielder to free up money to get Trent? I can get Trent without selling in Burma. I think if I sell in Burma to free up money, it'll probably be to Semenyo. Everyone pretty much has the same team now. Captaincy is so important. To a certain extent, obviously for weeks now, people have been moving to Salah, Saka, Palmer, but there's still differentials out there, right? I've got triple Arsenal defence. That's been a differential. I suspect that triple Arsenal defence and Liverpool defender will be a massive differential. Lots of people have still got like Ain't Nuri, Mikalenko, I don't know who else, Van Heck and players like that, Lewis Hall. So to have 3-4 defenders from the top 2 defence in the league, that's a bit of a differential. Solanke up front for me is a differential too. Raul Jimenez is not highly owned. You know, lots of people just sold in Burmo. I think Fernandes is still fairly low owned for what he's delivering. So I think Salah, Saka, Palmer is clearly template right now. And I think with the amount of returns Arsenal defenders are getting, people will move to them. But I don't think they're massively owned right now. Has the rank got anything to do with people putting points on the bench? No, because it includes that, basically. It knows that. Was using triple captain now a mistake? Yes, absolutely. Shouldn't have used it in a single game week. I've never done that before. I mean, obviously, there's some hindsight there. If I'd got a hat-trick off Haaland from his 2 whatever XG it was, I'd probably be okay with it. But I would still say, even if I got a hat-trick off Haaland, I would say the outcome was not a mistake, but the decision was. Like, because now Salah will have a double game week, and we probably will have enough other double game weeks for the rest of the chips. So, yeah, I don't see me using it in a single game week next year. If you were unlucky, stupid enough to still have Haaland right now, would you hold? I kept him on game week 12 wildcard. I think it's always the same answer for me. If you've got like a few transfers and you can spread that money around quick, I'd still be tempted just to sell him. But also, you're getting some very good fixtures right now. So I don't think it's a necessity to have to sell him. 31 with just Palmer returning. Brutal week. But Palmer got... Oh, you didn't captain him. Fair enough. Yeah, that is pretty brutal. The only way is up next week. I love Christmas time football, but I always seem to do bad this time in FPL. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just get unlucky, right, with games in quick succession. Injuries are even more annoying at this time of the year. Like, maybe not for the next couple of weeks because there's a week between matches, but over Christmas... Like an injury for a week or so, you might be missing like 3 or 4 game weeks. And that's super annoying. Oh yeah, I shouldn't have triple captain, but I've done it now. There's no point worrying about it. I can still captain Salah in the double at least. What is the best 7.2 million midfielder or below? I'm thinking Johnson or Gordon. I think I would get Bowen. Oh no, Bowen's more, and Matoma probably. I don't hate Gordon though. The way you catch your composure before your bad weeks to now you're smashing it. Patience really is a virtual. You just got to wait until you get lucky, basically. Keep picking good players and hope that you get luckier than you did before, I suppose. There'll be a couple of 40-point weeks over Christmas with rotation. Always happens. Absolutely. Is the hangover fully gone? I didn't. So there was a day 2 yesterday. Do other countries have day 2s, by the way, for their weddings? In Ireland, it's a very popular thing. You have the wedding day, then you have day 2. Well, I literally got 1 Guinness yesterday in day 2, and I drank about 3/4 of it, and I was like, I'm done. That's it. So I'm a bit tired, but hangover mostly gone. How did Solanke not get an assist? Why would he get an assist? Sorry. I spent far too much on Super Chats to stream, but worth it. Thank you for spending proper time to answer me properly. All good. Save your money now. Save your money. Indian weddings are 3 to 4 days affair. Oh my god. I just never heard of it before until I came to Ireland. How to sell Son to Saka before Southampton. I'm not sure you do unless the money's really tight. But just remember, okay, so Southampton away, you could get punished by selling Son, but Saka's also really good against Everton at home. And he's also got Ipswich at home soon. I think if you want to keep Son for Southampton, it's not a terrible decision. I did a day 2 on ours, yeah. The thing is that it was actually quite good. I think it's good. I think it's good for the people getting married, not necessarily good for all the guests. Do I have a PR team? No. Do you think I need one? Do you think I say too much stuff that get me in trouble? Which do you prefer with 2 free transfers? In Burmo Porro to Trent Matoma, or in Burmo Vissa to Isaac Semenyo? Oh, you're gonna have to spell that out for me a bit more. So either way, you're getting rid of Burmo. So it's Porro, Isaac, and Semenyo, or Matoma, Trent, and Vissa, right? Porro, Isaac, Semenyo, Matoma, Trent, and Vissa. If I'm correct there, I think my gut feeling is Porro, Isaac, Semenyo. I thought you drank too much that you made your transfers early. No, well, I was thinking I should just do the Trent transfer now, and then even though I'd had a lot of Guinness, I remembered that there might be a storm the next day, so I didn't make the transfer, basically. Just got lucky. No, I don't hire anyone full-time. Someone helps me out with thumbnails. Someone helps me out with like the editing for the shorts. That's about it, really. I think. Might be missing someone else. One day I'm going to do some other kind of content that's not FPL. I don't know what it is and when. One day, I'm sure I'll do it. What do I do with Brendan Johnson? You probably keep him for Southampton if he's fit, right? What do you think is better? Rashford and De Ligt to Ahmad and Van Dijk next week for free, or Rashford and De Ligt to Ahmad and Trent this week for -4? I would probably just do Van Dijk next week for free, I think. I did do a deadline stream on the wedding day, yeah. Premier League podcast. I don't know. I doubt it. Highly doubt that's what it would be. Which defender am I likely to drop? Well, if I drop one of the Arsenal ones, ideally it would be Saliba, and Lewis is probably going to go for me as well. How long have we been streaming? Oh, geez, it's gone 9. They're going to wrap it up soon. Any other questions I've not already answered? I feel like I've been talking about Trent, Van Dijk, and Arsenal for a long time. Mazraoui and Welbeck out to Munoz and João Pedro. João Pedro seems pretty good. Munoz, I'm not sure it's the right time to buy Munoz, but he probably is better than Mazraoui at the moment. Minutes-wise, for sure. Match of the day looking for a new host. No chance. As in, I've got no chance. I couldn't do it anyway. Too much pressure. Semenyo sell? I can't think of any reason why you'd sell Semenyo, really. If you were to triple up Chelsea, who would you pick if money is no object? Jackson, Palmer, and Colwell, probably. How do I see El Sacchio going? Bowen. I think West Ham will probably win. Thing is, West Ham aren't very good, but they're at home, and Wolves also aren't that great. I think, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think Wolves have been massively overperforming their expected goals data. Like, the defense is just rubbish. If I had Isak this week, would I be tempted to captain him? No, not really. I don't think he's a bad captain. If you went for it, I wouldn't be sitting here saying, well, that's a bit stupid, because obviously it's not, right? But I just think it's really hard to go against the likes of Palmer and Salah, to be honest. So I think Ange survives December. I have seen a few Spurs fans talking today about the fact they've kind of turned on him, like as in they're now not sure about him. I'd be interested to hear James' opinion on Planet FPL. He's usually pretty rational with this stuff. Yeah, it's a tricky one because like you look at it today, like the goals today. Obviously, 2 of them were penalties. One was like a Jadon Sancho shot from outside the box, and like Ange Postecoglou is not telling Basuma to tackle like he did in the box. Right, it's a crazy tackle that he made. But then also, is the way Ange sets up structurally and defensively causing Spurs to have to deal with more stuff like that, you know? So I don't know how much of what happened today is his fault. You know, did he rush back Romero and Van der Ven, or did the medical staff say they were fine? Did the players say they were fine? Now they're both injured again. You just don't know, right? So do I think he'll? I think he'll probably get through December, yeah. But I don't know. I think the honeymoon period is well and truly over for Ange at this point. I will say though, as a non-Spurs fan, I love watching his games. They're great. There's always so many goals. Or often there's quite a few goals. There wasn't in Bournemouth game, I know, but thoughts on keeping in Burmo? Same as last week. I don't think in Burmo is essential or anything like that. If you want to sell him to fund another move, absolutely fine. But I also think he's perfectly okay to hold. Like, there's not too many players I would want to sell him. Like, it's fine if you want to go like in Burmo to Semenyo because it frees up money for another move, like to get Trent in or something like that if you've got 2 free transfers. But if it's just in Burmo to Bowen or in Burmo to Gordon, I mean, look, Gordon will probably outscore in Burmo the next 2, but I still feel like rolling is probably the better option. Anshed Van der Ven should be fine. Oh, yeah, I saw that actually. He said it was just tightness, right? Do you rate Enzo as a transfer for Kluivert? Please tell me you bought Kluivert after 3 penalties. And you're asking that question. Please. Enzo seems to be finding his form. I would just keep Kluivert. Is Isak a must-buy? No. He's pretty good, though, if you need a new forward. I mean, he could do really well over the next 2 fixtures. It's Leicester at home and Ipswich away, right? I think it's that way around. You wish you kept in Burma. If you sold in Burma, I don't think it was a bad move, depending on what you did with it. Did with him, sorry. Like, if you were just sick of him and you just wanted to move him to someone else, and maybe it wasn't the right call because Newcastle at home wasn't a bad fixture. But if you've upgraded him to someone or you've used the money for another move, you know, it was probably fine. You just got a bit unlucky that he goes and gets a 13-pointer straight away. It does suck when you sell a player and they do really well and the other player you bring in doesn't. It's really annoying. Been there plenty of times. Who should I transfer out first? Porro, Luca Dean, or Aina? I mean, it would be Aina for me if money's no object. Like, Porro's got Southampton away right in front of him. Luca Dean is away to Forest, and then they've got an okay fixture, I think, at home. No, actually, they don't have an okay fixture after Forest, do they? They got City. Yeah, and Newcastle away is not great, or Brighton at home. Probably, I'm not actually sure about that. I'd rather have Aina than Luca Dean this week, I suppose. So Luca Dean, maybe? João Pedro's been underwhelming. Honestly, I'm not worrying about João Pedro at all. Like, he's playing. He'll get some chances. He's on penalties. He's less than 6 million. I'm not messing around with it anymore. And you just keep him until he gets injured, honestly. I don't see any point in... Like, again, if you're downgrading another player and you've got money to upgrade João Pedro to like an Isak, fair enough, right? That's the kind of structure you want to go for moving forward. But I just quite like... Now that we've seen Raul Jimenez start, and looks like it was just a bit of a rest for him last week, I quite like having those 2 cheap forwards because it enables so much elsewhere. Especially when I've lost a bit of money for the likes of not getting in Saka early and stuff like that. Was always the plan to sell Vardy to João Pedro this week. Is it still the move, or can I roll with the Vardy party? I actually don't know what Leicester's fixtures look like. Let me have a quick look here. So Leicester has got, let's see, Newcastle away, Wolves at home, not bad. Then it's Liverpool away, City at home. I think you can probably roll with it the next couple of weeks and then decide what you want to do. I mean, Vardy keeps starting, right? The minutes aren't that bad. He's just played 90 after a midweek game of 59. I don't mind holding him the next 2. I like João Pedro, but I don't think you have to... If you want to roll the transfer instead, I think that's absolutely fine. Just on Chris Wood, by the way, I know we were talking about him earlier. Fixture-wise now, like Villa at home, yeah, Honestly, if you got Chris Wood, I'd keep him. Villa at home, Brentford away, Spurs at home, Everton away, Wolves away. They ain't bad fixtures at all. At all. I quite like them. Right, I'm probably going to leave it there because it's gone 9:10. It's gone 9:10. Got to go to bed soon. Thank you very much for joining me. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed the stream. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'll be back tomorrow with early thoughts. Then we've got transfer tips, game week preview, team selection, final thoughts. And then deadline stream on Saturday. And I'll actually be doing the deadline stream on Saturday. It's also a later deadline this week. It's 1:30 p.m. UK time on Saturday. So I'm sure any questions I've missed tonight, I will be talking about in the videos, something like that. Anyway, that's generally the plan with videos. Talk about stuff and yeah. Right, I'm off. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Apologies again for missing the deadline stream, and I will catch you again tomorrow.